to hook you up.
And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back, hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. In the studio, Captain Frank LoPreste from the Royal Polaris and Shogun and First Mate Kathy Rounds, talking some great fishing here.
Talking fishing and having a great time, too. This has been a lot of fun and lots of great stuff going on, from this yellowfin that's down the beach that we were talking about earlier, the giant bluefin that are up here, and everything in between. We're having fun and talking fishing. We want you to be a part of the show this morning. If you want to join us here on Let's Talk Hookup, there's 2 ways that you can do that. First, again, is with our local line. That's 858 area code 457-1090. Again, 858-457-1090, or just call us on our toll-free number. That one's 877-792-1090. The phone's been very busy all morning, and it's no surprise having people like Frank and Kathy in here talking all kinds of great fishing, and also a great prize, too. Again, one lucky caller at the end of the show going to get to go on a 3-quarter-day trip aboard the San Diego out of C4 Sport Fishing, get in and all that great fishing we've been talking about both yesterday and today on that San Diego. You're going to get your chance to go fishing, as well as win a pair of tickets to the captain's reception at the Valley High. Again, coming up this June 15th, going to be a great time and a lot of fun to have some hors d'oeuvres and get to rub elbows with a bunch of fishing friends and meet the captains from Wicked Tuna.
Get your tickets now. It's going to sell out. So buy them at Fisherman's Landing Tackle, buy them at Dana Landing in Mission Bay, or buy them at C4 Sport Fishing. $25 a person. Includes, like you say, Kathy's dinner, heavy hors d'oeuvres, great Valley High hors d'oeuvres, and there'll be an open bar, and not an open bar, a no-host bar. No-host bar. Open bar. I think Brenzarella would broke in this business, right?
I'll be going for a Valley High Mai Tai this
afternoon.
Yeah,
for sure. But and an unbelievable raffle. Mike Lum, the king of all raffle guys, has collected such an array of items that you will be blown away at what you're going to be able to win at this event. And plus, you're doing the right thing. You're raising money to take kids fishing.
That's right.
That's what
That's all about the
bottom
kids.
line.
You bet. Hey, this is a trip that you guys should think. I know you guys are adventurers now, you and Frank and Kathy, and I've been working on this project for a long time, years, to go back to Katmai Lodge.
Oh, yeah.
And Katmai Lodge is one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had in my life. And my wife, Lolly, says the same thing. We're going back in 2016, August of 2016. We're already, we only have 12 spots on the trip. There's already 4 sold for 2016 for this trip. But if you want to go to Katmai Lodge this year, they do have spots available for the trout fishing season in late June, and then the end of July for the sockeye and silver salmon. If you want to go to Katmai this year, there's still availability. Our trip is in 2016, but if you want to go to Katmai, call Ann or Tom at 800-330-0326. 330-0326. Check out katmai.com. Katmai, Katmai, and check out our trips page if you want to check out going with us in 2016. It is pretty amazing. I'll give you an example of Lolly gets. I always invite her whenever trips we go on. I say, you want to come along, and she usually says no, because it's not her deal. But when I said we're going back to Katmai, she goes, do I get to go? And I said, yes, you get to go. If you want to go, you get to go. So
how cool.
That's the kind of place it
Just
is.
you telling
the
stories of trout that are the size of a legal white sea bass eating a mouse, mouse pattern, just sounds so cool to me.
And then the wildlife and just the being in the natural environment.
I think that's rad.
It's pretty awesome,
that's
for
cool.
sure. Well, let's jump back on those jam-packed phone lines.
You got it. How about this time we talked to Rudy, calling us from Carlsbad this morning. Hi, Rudy. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Rudy.
One thing I want to know, Frank, do you still have cloth napkins on the tables at night? What's the cost for one of your shorter trips, 5 to 7 days?
The 5 to 7 day trips, depending, we vary the load on a lot of those trips. So when there's lesser amount of people, the price goes up, and the more people, the lower it is. But a 5 day trip can go anywhere from $1,700 to $2,000. And then I believe, the best thing is to go right online and look at our schedule. But it's anywhere now from, I would say, $290 to $400 a day, depending on the trip and the number of people on the trip.
Best thing to do is just go to RoyalPolarisSportFishing.com. You can link that on Let's Talk Hookup website. If you don't want to type it in, it's right there on our links page. And just check out the schedule.
That's right.
And it shows availability, it shows the price, it shows what the load is. The whole program is.
Did you have any other questions other than that?
Oh, do you still have the cloth?
Oh, the cloth napkins. No, we don't use cloth napkins anymore, but you will find that the food is just unbelievable. We have raised the bar to the point where you're just going to be very, very impressed. And
raised the bar. It was already phenomenal. You went above and beyond now?
Yes, we're above and beyond that. We really are.
How could that be, Frank?
It just is.
Thanks a lot for the call this
Like
morning.
I've always said, we can control the service and we control the quality of food, but, the fishing sometimes is a little tough to control.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hey, with that, it's time to find out what's going on in our local scene. It's time for our FishDope.com report, and we got the man, Dave Hansen, your saltwater guide, is standing by. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning.
Sorry I missed you last week, guys. I was offshore and having a little problem with the sat phone, but I'm here today, and we got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to go as quick as I can. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning.
All right. I've heard this so many times, the good old days, the good old days, the good old days. I was talking with my father again. 100-pound bluefin, 4 miles off of this harbor. Hard to remember a day like that.
Yeah.
Hard to remember. But he hasn't been doing it very long, so he doesn't really know what he's talking about. Guys, we had world-class bluefin fishing right in front of our harbor during the week. It was incredible. Todd Manser was on a fish for 2.5 hours. Got to look at it. It was well over 100 pounds. He was on the whale watch boat, took it out right after whale watching, went out to those fish 4 miles off of Dana, hooked a big fat one, fought it for a long time. There's been multiple fish over 100 pounds caught in front of our harbor this week. It's incredible, guys. When you pull up on a spot of these fish, they look just like common dolphin. That's what they look like. That's what you think you're pulling up on. But it's straight giant bluefin. That fish spreads all the way out to Clemente. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no bank. They're just here. You just got to get lucky. You just got to be driving through them when they pop up. And 99.9% of the time, they're not going to eat a damn thing. So it doesn't matter what you're using, whatever the guy got bit on, they're not going to bite that tomorrow. It doesn't matter. I don't have the magic recipe how to get bit on these things. All I can say is you got to get out there and you got to try.
Lucky horseshoe, right?
Excuse me?
You got to bring your lucky horseshoe.
Absolutely. If you got lucky horseshoe, if you could get Frank LoPreste to go with you out there and he could show you all the great techniques, I bet you even he would have a hard time getting bit on these things.
I guarantee I would.
But it is unbelievable, guys, that we just have this fish to talk about. We were fishing them the other day, watching the cars get off the freeway. That's just unbelievable.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And that bigger grade yellowtail still, if you get lucky again with the horseshoe, you can get some of that bigger grade yellowtail into the kelp patties. And then if you go to Catalina, the whole front side of the island, if you can get away from those animals, you can get quality yellowtail on the front side of Catalina. It almost reminds me of the fishing at Cedros, because if you take a giant mackerel, the biggest mackerel you can get, and throw it on any beach spot on the front side of the island, you're going to get bit by a calico bass. It's unbelievable right now what's going on over there. And they're quality fish. 5 to 10 pound calicos fighting on every spot on the front or the back side of the island on the giant mackerel. I mean, I haven't had this much fun and been able to talk about this much stuff in almost a week. So this is pretty exciting.
Almost a week.
Almost a week. Well,
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff you feed Danny at FishDope.com. And it's an absolute must-have, whether you're going on a sport boat or a private boat. Keep informed. Yeah. Know what you're doing. Know what you're getting into. He gives you tackle tips, the whole deal. And right now, on a new membership at fishdope.com, you can save $20 with this code. Hookup now. Lowercase, no space. Hookup now. And you get info from Dave Hansen. You get info from all the top-notch guides out there in Southern California. And, Dave, if we want to go fishing with you, what do we do?
You guys, here's the deal. If you want me to come with you on your boat and teach you how to use all your electronics and show you where to fish, how to fish, what to fish for, or just teach you how to quit hitting the dock when you're parking your boat, give me a call at 949-374-0786 or look me up on the web at yoursaltwaterguide.com. And we are going out this afternoon because it's an afternoon bite, so hopefully I got some pictures to show you guys tonight.
Go get him, Dave.
Good luck, Dave. Thanks a lot for the call. We'll talk to you next Sunday.
All right. Again, that Catch Report sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Summer fishing means it's time to call Fisherman's Processing. If you're on a private boat, call them the day before you go and make arrangements that you can drop your fish off either directly at their dock or after hours drop where you can get a tag, you can get a lock combo and put your fish directly into their slush bins. You can find them on Facebook at Fisherman's Processing, or for more details, just check out fishermansprocessing.com.
And give them a call, make arrangements, and drop your fish off. You'll be very happy.
It's the best way to go. You don't have anything to deal with. You basically get to, off the boat, go directly to Fisherman's Processing, drop everything off in the slush bin, go home, and you're done. No fish processing to deal with, no getting rid of the waste afterwards, no carcass to deal with. Swing back on your way to work or your way home the next day, and you're going to bring your cooler, and you'll have perfectly portioned, perfectly trimmed, vacuum-packed bags ready to go.
Yeah, and if you want to see an example of what Fisherman's Processing product looks like, look at our Angler's Table page on our website, hookup1090.com. That was bluefin we caught a couple weeks ago. And Lolly prepared it. It's a fabulous recipe on there on the Angler's Table. But look at the quality of that fish, the product that came off of that, and that's the kind of quality you get from processing.
We all nowadays spend so much time and effort into, producing the best quality of catch you can with RSW on the sport boats, and same thing on the private boats. I'm sure you guys bled your fish and spiked your fish and iced them, and that's the extension of that treatment. That's the last step of, you went to all these lengths to get it as good as it possibly could, and that's the final thing you could is let Raymond be in charge of it.
Yeah, and Frank, and that's kind of the quality that you demand on the boats out of Fisherman's Landing, right?
It absolutely is. Yeah. It's all about quality of product now. It really is.
Fisherman's Landing, Point Loma Sport Fish. You go on one of those boats, you're going to have RSW fish holes, you're going to have side-scanning sonar, and you're going to have top-quality crews and captains.
That's what we strive for, always.
That's the deal. And Seaforth Sport Fishing also. We don't want to forget that.
Seaforth does an unbelievable job.
Yeah, all three of those landings,
absolutely,
top-notch, no doubt about it. Indeed. Well, let's go ahead and jump back into those jam-packed phone lines.
You got it. We got some very patient callers on the line. How about this time we talk to Brian, calling us from Chula Vista. Good morning, Brian. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, Pete, Rick, Captain Frank, and Kathy.
Good morning.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, I want to thank Rick for his patience in the tackle shop. I went in with an ancient, practically carved out of stone reel and asked him to help me with it, and it completely fell apart in both of our hands, but he had this huge smile on his face, and I walked out with a huge smile on my face because it was something I picked up at the Friends of Rollo booth that day at the docks, and it was just, I was impressed with his knowledge and service, and it was something that I could have been miserable and just gone, oh, crap. But he was so friendly and helpful. It was amazing.
And believe me, we are aware of it, and we feel very, very fortunate to have Rick with us, and that's why he's part owner of that tackle store nowadays.
So my question is for Kathy.
Yes.
You're one of the people I've heard on the station all the time. You've got your record with big halibut. What is the biggest mistake people make when they catch or hook into a barn door that's going to cause them to lose it, or just the most important thing to remember?
I think it depends on the style. Most people, when they're fishing in Alaska for halibut, are on jigs. And the easiest way to lose your fish on a jig is to give them any kind of slack. And I think that's where I see most people lose their fish. Very few people up there fish bait. Bait fishing for halibut, once they bite, there's not really, you just fish a circle hook with them, and there's not really a lot you can really mess up with because you have a giant, usually a 20-aught circle hook in them.
It's not going to come out.
Not going to come out. No.
But a jig is a different story.
But a jig is a totally different story, and that's what I would say most people fish up there. That's what's available. That's what, you get on a boat, and that's what you're going to see. So the biggest thing is just make sure your line stays tight. When you pump the fish, if you're going to pump them, just make sure you're winding before you ever think about dropping the tip. Make the tip drop because you wound it down, not because you let your arm go.
As they say, always keep a bend in the rod, right?
And that doesn't just hold true for halibut. It really holds true for wahoo. Nothing, I just can't emphasize enough when people drop the rod, especially with the troll fish, That's how that marauder drops out of their mouth. And it's the same thing with the big halibut. You got to wind, you got to keep, and some people say, well, I'm winding. Well, you need to wind faster. That's all there is to it. And that applied when I was at El Salto. Those things were throwing jigs, and if you didn't keep your tip in the water and wind faster, you just were going to he was going to spit it.
Yeah.
And even then they'd spit it. But, it's just you got to keep a bend going, and you got to keep the line tight. When it's not tight, you're in trouble.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. I want to remind you, speaking of keeping your line tight, if you have a fish like the front page of Western Outdoor News on the line, you better be keeping your line tight.
You don't have to keep it tight.
The fish will, right? Is that what you're saying?
That's
a giant bluefin tuna. What a beautiful fish that is. And really, really great issue this week in Western Outdoor News with lots of great information on Sierra trout fishing and, of course, Bluefin Battles. That's the title. Check it out. This week's edition on that huge OPA, too. There's
cool.
some of that around.
Yeah, a lot of those around this year.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah. So check it out. All of it is right in there in Western Outdoor News.
All right, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming away, including we're going to be taking all of your phone calls. You stay tuned. We got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the mighty 1090.
Have you ever imagined casting a fly or a lure on one of the most beautiful and productive rivers in Alaska? At Katmai Lodge, you can catch up to all 5 species of Pacific salmon. The king, sockeye, chum, pink, and silver salmon, along with rainbow trout, Arctic grayling, dolly varden, and other native stream fish. When anglers dream of trophy salmon and trout, the Alagnak River is their destination, and Katmai Lodge is the premier base camp. Being the original river-based lodge on the Alagnak gives the facility a leg up on the competition. Both experienced and novice anglers have rated Katmai Lodge and its knowledgeable guides as the best of the best. Katmai Lodge is remote, yet offers all the amenities of a first-class lodge. During your Alaska visit, you'll see amazing wildlife, brown bears, caribou, eagles, moose, otters, and much more. Schedule a day trip on their private de Havilland Otter Float Plane and visit the world-famous Brooks Falls. Book online at katmai.com or call 1-800-330-0326. That's katmai.com or call 1-800-330-0326 for the fishing adventure of a lifetime.
Are you feeling that itch to get out on the water? Come fishing on the American Angler and reacquaint yourself with some familiar faces and make new friends. Captain owners Brian Kiyohara and Sam Patella take pride in every aspect of the American Angler operation, from their loyal and trusted crew to the sashimi-grade fresh fish you'll take home. It's easy to find a vacation that fits your schedule. We have everything from day-and-a-half to 10-day trips and longer. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. We want you to become a part of the American Angler family.
Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.
Good morning, it's Whitney from Mammoth Lakes, California. Come on up, the water's fine, is what the Eastern Sierra is touting. And in Mammoth Lakes, it's much more than just the water. This summer, our 4 lakes will be stocked with almost 16,000 pounds of healthy fighting trout. From fishing and biking to hiking and horseback riding, there's a legendary story waiting for adventurers of all ages in Mammoth Lakes. Start planning your next adventure at visitmammoth.com. That's visitmammoth.com.
What a tuna and yellowtail season last year. Many say the best in 30 years. Could this season be even better? Don't be caught without the right gear. Now is the time to stock up on the trolling lure that proved to be the best. X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Every X-Rap Magnum runs perfect right out of the box. They all have extreme action and a controlled, deep-diving, aggressive swimming motion. The large diving lip partners with premium VMC hooks and an irresistible rattle. The X-Rap Magnum by Rapala can be trolled at high speeds without rolling or kicking out at depths to 15 feet. Bottom line, the X-Rap Magnum is the ultimate trolling lure for Southern California and Baja saltwater fishing. With a textured translucent body, internal holographic foil, and 3D holographic eye, X-Rap Magnums are irresistible to saltwater game fish. Available in a variety of colors and sizes. No matter what you choose, the fish can't resist X-Rap Magnum by Rapala. Ask your local tackle dealer which is the hottest color and size and start catching more fish. See the entire line at Rapala.com.
Cast Tours is a family-owned and operated travel company that specializes in taking you to great fishing destinations. They take pride in providing the best and most affordable vacation packages available. For over 20 years, Cast Tours has been creating unique sport fishing and vacation trips. Whether it's a fishing trip, a family vacation, or an adventure, they will provide you the service and value you deserve. Call Cast Tours at 800-593-6510 or check casttours.com.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Padres are playing some kind of baseball.
San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Don't forget, Saturday we'll be at the Longfin in Orange. Rick and I will be up there broadcasting live right at the front door of the Longfin in Orange. In right there. What a beautiful store. What a great event for the Shimano sale. It's going to be an unbelievable sale. You want to get there early because they're going to have salesman samples of G. Loomis, Shimano, Power Pro gear that it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And the Longfin is going to they have a Shimano store within the store. And it's always a super popular event. It's one of the best tackle stores in the world.
Oh, no question.
And they have so much product in there, and they're really going all out on this sale. This is their big once-a-year sale, especially on Shimano stuff for this. Power Pro reps, Shimano reps, G. Loomis reps will all be there. And we're just going to have a free-for-all there with the Shimano guys. We're just going to broadcast live right out front and draw the different Shimano guys in. We're going to always have a great crowd watching us do the broadcast right there.
Maybe we'll talk to John Coote, maybe Benny Florentino, maybe Mark Mills. There's just so many people to pull from, and, obviously Tom and Eric at the Longfin. It's just a fun show and a really fun event, and it's easy to get to, too. It's very easy, whether you're in San Diego, L.A., or obviously in Orange. It's just it's an easy spot. It's a fun day. You will get deals on stuff that just does not go on sale, period. That's what this day is all about.
Yeah, so check the longfin.com for directions. Just give them a call in the store. And we'll see you there. 7 a.m. the sale starts. The broadcast starts at 7 a.m. They go all the way to 7 p.m. next Saturday. See you there. And don't forget, mark your calendar, July 4th for our next San Diego County Ford Dealer Live remote. That'll be the next remote after the Longfin remote. We're going to be the next chance to give away that trip to Kingfisher Charters on Alaska Airlines and the trip on the Blackjack and the Shimano rods and reels and all that. It's going to be great. It's going to be at Mossy Ford in Pacific Beach, Saturday, July 4th.
You got it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, let's jump back into the phones. I know they're packed up. And how about we talk to Don, who's called us from Woodland Hills this morning. Good morning, Don. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Two questions for you. First of all, for those that can't make it to the captain's meeting here, is there a chance that you can pick up raffle tickets via mail or buy them from one of the landings? And then my other question is if you could talk about the advantages of having a custom rod built versus buying one off the rack.
Kathy, you're on the board of directors for Friends of Rollo.
Oh, yeah. No, you have to be present to win
yes.
at the captain's meeting. So, yeah, we aren't selling raffle tickets
online.
A
lot of silent auction, sign up, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's going to be and there's going to be a raffle with a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
but, yeah,
so
it'll
got to be present to win.
Yeah, you have to be there to win.
Well, I'd love to be there, but unfortunately it's just too far from Woodland Hills.
I don't
thank you.
That far? Come on. San Diego's a great place to visit.
It's quite a drive to make it. 7:30 at night. I agree with you.
As far as the custom rod goes, I would say there are some major advantages, but with as good as some of the factory rods are too, it's not a necessity either. And it depends a little bit on your body type. The advantage of having a custom rod built is you could go into, a good tackle store and, speak with the guy behind the counter, and they're going to figure out the type of fishing that you do and help you with a rod that best suits your needs. You might be able to put a different configuration of guides. Maybe you fish short top shotter, you need the rod to be lighter. But the biggest advantage would be in the handle section. If you're somebody that has a longer or shorter reach than somebody, sometimes if we're building a rod for a female, we'll typically put a little bit shorter butt section on the rod because just by body type, they tend to have a little bit shorter forearms, so it brings the reel closer to the body and makes it a little bit more comfortable. If you're a bigger guy, you want the opposite. Sometimes on a factory rod, the foregrip or the forward piece of foam is a little on the short side. So if it's a big fish rod where you're going to be hanging onto the rod, you want to extend your arms all the way forward, you might put a little longer grip. Or if you're going to be using the rail, you might put some kind of covering on the grip so it doesn't get chewed up. So there are definitely some advantages. But, a good rod manufacturer, Shimano, CalStar, guys like that, the factory rods are by no means in need of being done custom because they're not good enough right out of the rack. They're perfect. It just allows you to make some of those custom touches, whether it be by look so your rod sticks out of the rack, or you want to build a cool set, or for function because your body shape is maybe different than somebody else's.
There you go.
I think that what you say is very important, but there's one other little item there, and that's pride. Pride in the beautiful set of equipment you have, and when you have that pride in your equipment, you also have a little more confidence.
I agree.
So I add those things in there, and those little things. There's nothing. I really hate seeing a guy with long arms with too short a butt on the rod, or vice versa, a small person with way too long, and they're just
not right.
Just not right at all.
There's nothing. That's one of the things doing at the shop that I like doing more than anything else is somebody coming down, especially, it reminded me when we talked to that caller earlier, said they're going on their first long-range trip. If you're going to really invest in a piece of gear, man, do it right. We all the time will have guys come down. Maybe they like fishing in a belt and harness. Maybe they like being on the rail, whatever. I mean, bring your rod and your reel down, and we'll put a rod belt on you, and we'll just, we'll figure out grip length and measure your arms and put you into 4 or 5 different rods that are off the rack. And, well, this is good. I like how this one feels, but not that. I mean, doing a custom rod right takes a little bit of time, but when it's done right and you go fishing and come back, it's perfect.
And the way I see it, a guy can get 3 rods a year. He buys one for himself. His wife buys him one for his birthday and another one for Christmas. That's 3 rods a year.
Perfect.
So how much more does it cost for a custom rod versus an off-the-rack rod? Let's take a CalStar rail rod, for example. How much more are you going to pay less are you going to pay if you buy a CalStar rail rod off the rack versus if you have it custom made?
Considerably less than you would guess. I would say if you matched everything thread for thread, guide for guide, but obviously your grip is probably going to change ever so slightly. $30 to $50 more would be what I would think for a custom rod. Now that's just for the straight regular. When you do a custom rod, you're probably going to put your name on it. You're probably going to put some fancy wraps on it.
I bet it's $100.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I say what usually the cost ends up being is about $100 more. Okay. If you were less concerned with name or thread style or anything like that, it's a little bit less. But that's exactly what I was going to say. If you found the rod that you really liked in the rack and you really wanted it custom tailored to you, if you budgeted for $100, you'd probably become just right at it or underneath it most of the time.
All right. Very good. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. Scott Sherman, Fifth Avenue Insurance, and, of course, City Councilman. Good morning, Scott.
And
what? Oh, and Friends of Rollo board member. New
board member.
Oh, cool.
New Friends of Rollo board member. Congratulations on that. We're
welcome
great
aboard,
to have you
Scott.
aboard.
That's cool.
No, thanks for having me, guys. I just got to do whatever I can do to help. So.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, on the bay this morning and on the kayak and having a pretty good morning. Started out real strong at first light, but then, tide stopped at 7:45 or so. And what I did then is, and it's actually produced is, many times walking along the shore at a really low tide, you can do some pretty good fishing from the shore. And the weed line is right at the water's edge. So I paddled up close and would toss, 25, 30 feet up into the shoreline, almost hitting the shoreline, and then bring it through the weeds. And as soon as it would drop off the ledge where the weeds were, I started hitting croaker right and left. It was unbelievable.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool,
How
Scott.
fun.
Nicely done.
Beautiful morning, right?
And
it's perfect right now. There was a little breezy earlier, but now the wind slowed down, and it's just perfect, except for where we're starting to get the jet skis and that kind of stuff. So.
Well, Scott, you forgot one major thing. What were you using?
What was that?
I said, what were you using?
Using a jerkbait
Okay.
with a weedless setup. You just drag it through the weeds, and as soon as it comes through the weeds, you just kind of stop the reel, the retrieve a little bit, and let it sink down that embankment. And I was getting, picked up 3 real nice ones. So.
That's
Very
cool,
good.
Scott. Nicely
Perfect. All right. Well, and you'll be at the captain's reception on June 15th, right?
Yeah, I believe it's on my calendar. So it's getting to be that season again where I got to start thinking about the next election. So it's gonna get real busy here. But I'm pretty sure it's on the calendar, and we're gonna do everything we can to be there.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate that. Good report from the Bay.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
Right.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks a lot for the call.
All right.
Welcome to the board.
Yeah, it's
Thanks,
cool.
bud.
All right. How about next up we talk to Jason, who's calling us from El Cajon this morning. Hi, Jason. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, guys. I got a couple questions for you. First of all, thanks for all your guys' knowledge that you guys share with everybody. It's really helpful. But the question I had was, we're going down to Palmas de Cortez in the first week of September. And
nice.
I know you guys have talked before about bringing coolers down there, and there's a certain size of cooler on Alaska Air that we can bring. What size is that cooler? Do you guys remember?
The 48 quart is perfect size because it's not so much the size, it's the weight. Mm-hmm. And you want to not keep that cooler under 50 pounds, otherwise it just costs you a fortune to get that fish back. You're better off getting 2 coolers, 48 quart coolers, rather than 1 cooler that's 70 pounds. For checking. So 48 quart, pack your clothes and your gear in the cooler on the way down. Bring an extra duffel bag inside the cooler and pack your fish on the way home. Make sure they weigh it and that it's not over 50 pounds when you're leaving. And pack your gear back in the duffel bag and you're set.
Another question for you. So if there's multiple of us going down there, should we all bring coolers? Are we going to catch that kind of fish to be able to bring home? And is there a limit of how much fish we can bring home?
There's a limit on the boat, 5 fish per species per person, but you have to abide by the Mexican limits. But, I mean, how do you predict that? You can't predict that.
The answer is yes. All of you bring your individual cooler.
Yeah, which is probably a good idea, especially in September, because September, October, prime time for tuna, dorado, and wahoo, that type of thing.
And you have nothing to lose because if you don't fill it, you just pack your clothes back in it and check it as your bag that you would have checked anyway.
The other recommendation I'm going to make to you, too, is send your fish to the East Cape Smokehouse. And you won't be sorry. You'll pay a little more for the processing, but it'll be fish that you're going to love to eat when you get home. It'll all be vacuum packed. You can have some fish smoked for yourself, and they will pack your cooler and weigh it for you. You can even buy boxes now. The wax boxes they have for $20. You don't want to bring your cooler, you buy wax boxes. They'll pack a 50-pound box for you, and the box only costs $20. Costs you $25 to check the bag. So do the math. I mean, which way do you want to go, right?
Sure.
So if you have more fish than you need, buy a box. Bring a cooler.
Definitely.
You have more, maybe share a cooler with another guy and buy a box. But definitely send your fish to the East Cape Smokehouse. Those guys do a great job and fantastic processing, and they do take all the headache out for you.
Okay. And what's the airport you guys fly into?
Los Cabos.
Yeah,
Los Cabos.
Yeah, San Jose del Cabo, Los Cabos. 2 flights a day out of San Diego on Alaska Airlines, and they have various flights out of Los Angeles, Orange County, I believe Ontario, but easy place to get to. Have a great time. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Ken in Long Beach, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Ken.
Hey, good morning, Pete, Rick, Kathy, and Frank.
Good morning,
Ken.
Hey, I had a couple bluefin questions. Number one, if you are in Mexican waters and you do happen to catch a bluefin, and the way the regs are now, it has to be released, what's the proper way to release that fish? Do you want to just clip the line as close to the hook as you can, or if you're in a private boat, can you lean over the gunnel and try to get that hook out of its mouth, or is that kind of a waste of time? And the second question is, I heard of a sport boat in U.S. waters catching a bluefin with a tag in it. if you happen to catch a tagged fish, how do you remove the tag and who do you send it to?
Well, first of all, in regards to your first question, I would cut it off as close to the lip as you can. Okay, they'll get rid of that hook. And if you start messing with trying to grab the fish, you're going to hurt your hand. You're going to end up making the fish bleed by hitting the gill accidentally. I would just cut it off as close as I could to the mouth. As far as the tag on the bluefin, that would be through. That would probably be a Stanford tag. I'm not 100.
And there's a sheet at Fisherman's Landing Tackle that says you're supposed to return those tags for a reward, right?
For a reward, that is correct.
So you do have to take the fish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but if the fish has a tag and you're in Mexican waters, you still got to cut it loose.
Yeah.
Now. Most of the tags all have the information on what you need to do with them on the tag. They've got a phone number and a website printed directly on the tag, and you can just go to it. So
that's correct.
If you were lucky enough to catch one, I would grab a little scratch pad somewhere in the boat and just take some notes down, because I'm sure they would love to know that. Just if it happened to get your Latin longs, maybe a water temperature, that kind of stuff, just some of the particulars I'm sure they would love to hear. I'm sure they would love to take any information you could give them.
Absolutely. Hey, Ken, it was great rooming with you on the Islander there, that kayak trip. What a great trip, right?
Oh, what a blast. It was so much fun catching those calicos on the wax swing, and great group of guys, and as usual, the Islander crew did an amazing job.
Yeah, they're good at it, for sure. Hey, Ken, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, Lou in Fillmore, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Lou.
Good morning, Kathy, and the rest of you guys.
Good morning.
You too, Lou.
And I was wondering, when you just brought up a lot that the bluefin you cannot take in Mexican waters, but I'm going on an 8-day spring trip, and as long as that boat goes into Mexican waters, they can't go into U.S. waters and harvest on the way in. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Thank you very much for the information.
If you're going on an 8-day trip, I wouldn't even worry about the bluefin, because number one, they're not biting very well right now. Number two, you're going to go south and you're going to have plenty of chances at yellowfin, wahoo, dorado, the whole bit.
Yellowtail.
So, all the yellowtail. Just enjoy what you signed up for, which was a long-range trip to go south.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right. How about Mike in Carlsbad? You're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Mike.
Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
Great.
I was going to ask Frank and Kathy about fishing at El Salto. I'm very much interested in going there next year, and would like to have a little bit of information as far as taking gear and is it a topwater bite or everything?
It's an everything bite. You got to take a lot of stuff, topwater, worms, everything you have in your arsenal. You want to go, because you never know on any given day what they're going to bite. But it's just a great fishery. It's you fly into Mazatlan, they pick you up, they take care of you. It's a great time.
And, just to give you an idea, Dr. Carnes goes with us, or Paul Carnes, and he packs everything in a small backpack, all his clothing, but his tackle bag is about 3.5 feet long by 2.5 feet wide by a foot, 2 feet tall.
Do you need all that stuff?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But we caught fish. The mornings were very, very good on the popper. Then we had great worm bite with the Carolina rig and the Texas rig. I caught my 10.3 on a Carolina rig with a lizard. We had good fishing on spin baits. We had excellent fishing on spin tricks. We had it was a lot of different things that were working. The Sammy was working.
Listen to Frank.
The fluke was working.
He's got all the stuff going here. He's got all that lingo. That green bass lingo.
I wish you could see both Frank and then Brandon Bono, who works in the tackle store with us, who he just came back from a trip to Mexico. And these guys are going on a Mexico bass trip for a steady for about a steady week and a half, 2 weeks in front of the trip, every single day there's another order of some kind of something coming, freshwater. You know, we're at the tackle store. We're used to big jigs and big hooks, and we'll open up a box, and it'll be full of spinner baits or worms or Senkos.
Like,
Like,
wow,
okay,
what the heck
well,
is
this one's
this?
either for Frank or for Brandon. You know, it's one week solid every day. There's gear coming one direction or another. It's a lot of fun.
So there's two outfits: is Anglers Inn, which is the big outfit by Billy Chapman, and then the one you recommend is by Billy Chapman Sr.
Yeah, I recommend Billy Chapman Sr. because they have excellent guides.
Billy Chapman Jr. is Anglers Inn.
That is
Billy
correct.
Chapman Sr. is a smaller lodge
almost
right next door.
And there's a difference that one takes up to 40 people and the other one takes up to about 16.
All right.
So, I've never been to Anglers Inn. Obviously, it's a very good place.
It's a very good place, yes.
But I've got to highly recommend Billy Chapman Sr.'s lodge.
And all of his guides are good.
Yeah,
you don't
that's cool.
get a bad guide out of Billy Chapman
that's a
Sr.
good thing.
They really have the top guides, I think.
Good stuff. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning. Chris in Claremont, just about a minute left for you, Chris.
Oh, guys, this trip that you guys are offering at these Ford dealerships, that's up to Alaska, correct?
Correct. To Kingfisher Charters, which Rick is leaving a week from today to go with our group.
On your downtime, do you guys ever go crabbing or shrimping or anything?
Crabbing, yes. Sure, absolutely. If you want to choose to do that.
The beauty of a trip like that is you get to decide what you want to do. If you really like salmon, you can spend more time doing that. If you want to spend more time halibut and lingcod, you can do that. And if you want to spend some time dropping crab pots to get some fresh Dungeness, you can do that too. They're very accommodating.
Indeed. Hey, Chris, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
When we come back, we're going to find out who's going to the captain's reception at the Valley High, as well as a 3/4 day trip on the San Diego. More Let's Talk Hookup when we return on the mighty 1090. When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere. Alaska is one of the ultimate fishing destinations in the world. This is Rock Cod Rick, and every year the one trip I look forward to is Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. My dad and I have been going for over 15 years, and I just can't wait to go again. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, the finest fishing charter captains in all of Sitka, and the ultimate value. Sure, I've been to others, but time and time again, nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. You can catch huge halibut like the ones we do almost every year, and salmon, well, Sitka is famous for some of the best runs in Alaska. We also get plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. And listen to this, it's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except the tips. It's truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Come and join me on the Let's Talk Hookup trip in June, or just go when you can. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check KingfisherCharters.com.
Hey, this is Captain Paul Hebert from the Wicked Pisser. My brother Bruce and I make a living catching giant bluefin tuna. In fact, I wouldn't even go fishing with any other sunglasses than Maui Jim. Put a pair of Maui Jims on and instantly the glare is gone, the UV that can damage your eyes is gone, the ocean's true colors come shining through like never before. And with more contrast and clarity, you can see the bluefin at that critical time. Take it from me. Try a pair at your local tackle shop or check out MauiJim.com. You won't believe your eyes.
Great boats, free parking, and a fully stocked tackle shop. Just a few of the reasons Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top charter boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Eclipse, Apollo, Outer Limits, Pacific Star, El Gato Dos, Alexis, Pride, Privateer, Tribute, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth Sea Watch in San Diego offer the finest half, 3/4, and full-day trips available. Check out the full-service tackle store at Seaforth Sport Fishing. And it's all run by fishermen for fishermen. 1717 Quivira Road, just off Mission Bay Drive in Mission Bay. Book online at seaforthlanding.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Right, the big winner of the pair of tickets to the Captain's Reception at Valley High. And again, remember, you got a shot, if you don't win, to buy those tickets. June 15th, going to be a great time, $25. Get them at Fisherman's Landing, get them at Seaforth, and get them at Dana Landing. Going to be a very fun time.
Our friends, RolloKids.org.
There you go. And the big winner of the three-quarter day trip with those tickets going to Chris in Claremont. Chris, congratulations. You're going to have a great time fishing on the San Diego. Nobody does it better in three-quarter day than Captain Booger.
Indeed. Frank Cathy, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for your knowledge and your expertise. It's always fun having you on the show. We'll do it again very soon. Somebody wants to go fishing aboard the Royal Polaris or Shogun, especially this summer or fall, you better get on it, right?
That is correct. 619-226-8030, or just go to our website, and it's real easy, Royal Polaris or Shogun, sportfishing.com.
All right, easy deal. And how many? What trips are you going to be running, Frank?
I'm running to start with, I'm running June 24th, 8-day, and then immediately follow a 6-day charter with George Cutchell.
Oh, cool.
And then after that, I don't get back onto the Blackwater trip.
25th of July.
Oh, 25th of July, and then the 8th of August.
All right, you'll be there.
Busy schedule.
Yeah,
I'm
busy
there.
schedule.
Not as much as I used to be, but that's because Roy Rhodes is so good. And Jonathan
Yamati.
Jonathan Yamati is a hot number right now. Let me
bet.
tell you, he's doing one heck of a job.
Well, thanks, Frank. Thanks, Frank and Kathy. We'll look forward to having you back in this studio between trips, and we'll look forward to having you back next Saturday and Sunday. Next Saturday, don't forget, live from Longfin in Orange for their big Shimano Day, 7 to 9 a.m. We'll be broadcasting live at the front door of the Longfin in Orange next Saturday. Then next Sunday, for a long time, we haven't had him, but Dr. Larry Allen, the scientific fisherman, will be back in here with his great knowledge, talking fishing and talking about all the different biology that goes with fishing. Larry's a great guest. Thank you for listening today. Stay tuned. Padre Baseball is next right here on the Mighty 1090.